I'll be waiting outside of Finn McGee's pub, okay?
Yeah, I got it.
9 o'clock. He dies tonight.
Whenever we've seen deaths of family members or important characters in Power, we continue to see them having a major influence even after their death. Recent example, Cooper Saxe. Will Walter Flynn continue to play games beyond his grave? Now, this was a question I asked Twitter earlier on this week. So in this video, we are going to be exploring the theme of what I call Beyond the Grave. We're going to take a look at a similar theme what we've seen across the Power universe, with characters making moves from beyond their grave and how their influence remains in Power to this very day, despite their death. We're also going to take a look at Walter Flynn's next move, and whether or not he could continue having an influence over his kids, because we have seen this before. Characters believing getting rid of their fathers or mothers mean freedom, but they couldn't be so far from the truth.
Keep thinking you're fucking smarter than me. Don't ever make that mistake again, son.
In Power, Tariq St. Patrick's character went through an evolution. His transformation also included a belief eliminating his father would grant him the freedom he was looking for. But after he killed Ghost, he soon found out freedom can sometimes be an illusion.
He's dead and he's still trying to control my life.
After Ghost's death, Tariq found himself under his father's control more than ever before. Ghost's stipulations in his will meant he had control over his son, even from beyond his grave. Now, for Tariq to secure his inheritance, Tariq had to graduate from college with an average GPA of 3.5, and so Tariq's quest for independence was like a double-edged sword. On one hand, he had Ghost clubs, wealth, resources waiting for him as soon as he graduates, but on the other hand, it meant Ghost was still dictating his future, and that was the last thing Tariq wanted. So just like Ghost said, keep thinking you're smarter than me, don't ever make that mistake again. Now fast forward to Ghost Season 3, Tariq actually did lose his trust fund, although I am someone who's firmly in the camp who does believe Ghost trust fund may not actually be lost, but that is another theory when we get closer to Power Book 2 Ghost Season 4. Now sticking with Power Book 2 Ghost for a moment, we've seen how Monet's been in control over her kids ever since the beginning of Ghost. She's done so because 1. She wanted her kids to play specific positions that she felt suited them best, and secondly, as she recently said in Season 3, this was a life that Lorenzo chose for them, not for her. If it was up to her, they wouldn't be in the street game, and we all know Zeke was a way out, except it wasn't for Drew and Diana. They didn't want to follow Zeke around the country and work for him. Diana wanted to go to school, hustle and play ball. Drew wanted to live an open life with Everett and do art. Now Monet was never going to let that happen, and she had her reasons. Sometimes these kids actually do need to be told what to do. Just have a look at what happened to Zeke when he started making his own decisions. But both Drew and Diana felt as if they were ready for that freedom, although the plan they orchestrated did fail. However, had they carried out their plan, I think we would have seen a similar situation play out to Ghost and Tariq. But regardless, both of these characters wanted the freedom away from the street game, right? Well, after Monet was shot, they now find themselves working under Nomar and in the drug game more than ever before. So what I would say to Drew and Diana is, careful what you wish for. Now the final example I want to run through is another recent from Ghost, Cooper Saxe, the man who had 9 lives on 9 seasons of Power, until his time finally came to an end. But just because he is now dead, it doesn't mean his influence is.
This came for you in the mail.
It's from that lawyer Cooper Saxe.
Cooper Saxe was someone who was a part of the original task force in Power, and so he knew the dangers of his career. With that being said, who knows how long he was collecting dirt for? It could date all the way back to Power, and there is a lot that could be on this flash drive. But it wasn't just a flash drive, he left letters for Monet, Jenny Sullivan and 2-Bit. Now in short, Power do have a tendency to explore the complex interplay between freedom and control. We've seen it through Tariq, Drew, Diana, Cooper Saxe and countless of others. All of these situations are different in their own ways, but does serve as a reminder the quest for freedom isn't always as straightforward as it seems, and the shadow of influence can sometimes stretch far and wide, long after the final act. Now this brings me onto the Force timeline and the aftermath of Walter Flynn's death.
If he gets wind of it, there's a bullet for each of us.
Not if we kill him first.
Claudia and Vic wanted to get rid of their father for several reasons, but one of the main ones being a similar theme to what we've just been through, freedom. For as long as Vic and Claudia were under their father, they were never going to be able to run the organization the way they wanted, especially Claudia. The gender dynamic within the household was led by Walter Flynn, who also runs through to Ireland. So even if Vic doesn't want to be the leader, he was always going to inherit the Flynn organization because he's the heir to Walter's throne. But again, is freedom just another illusion for both Claudia and Vic? Vic will find himself in possession of something he doesn't even want. He doesn't want the family business, nor does he have the desire for it, mainly because he made a promise to Gloria, and it does seem like he's sticking by it, hence his move with Stacey Marks. But what about Claudia? She wants a business, and we saw her putting business moves in place with Markovich in episode 4, saying she was going to be the point person. But Walter Flynn strikes me as someone who would make a very similar move to that of Cooper Saxe and Ghost. He's a seasoned criminal who's been in the game for a very long time. Like he said, he's been running Chicago for 30 years. But with that, I'm also sure he knew at some stage his time would come to an end as well. That's why he was making sure Vic was there to succeed him. So is it beyond reasonable doubt to suggest even if Walter Flynn is now dead, he will still have a few moves up his sleeve to control Claudia and Vic in some shape or form? I definitely think so. Claudia thinks they were better off killing their father, but is the grass always greener on the other side? Just look at what happened with Tariq St. Patrick after he killed Ghost. He was still controlling him from beyond his grave. Drew and Diana tried to get rid of Monet to gain their freedom, but now find themselves working under Nomar and in the game more than ever before. Characters like Walter Flynn, Ghost, and Cooper Saxe, they don't just die. They may be 6 feet under, but their spirit and influence will remain for a very long time, in different ways because of who they are and how much power and control they had. So my question is, if Walter Flynn is going to be playing more games from beyond his grave, what are they? What has he got up his sleeve to make Claudia and Vic think, shit, maybe it wasn't such a good idea in killing our father? This is why I did think it was important to bring up what happened between Ghost and Tariq. With everything that he's going through in Power Book 2 Ghost, he now finds himself in a position at this moment in time going into Season 4, where he's probably wishing Ghost was alive. At the end of the day, all Ghost wanted was the best for Tariq. For the Flynns, it is slightly different because there was a lot of manipulation and cold moves intertwined within their family, but beneath the layers the main theme does remain the same, power and control over your kids. Now on the flip side, Walter may not have anything in store, but with this being a common theme across the Power universe, it definitely is worth having the discussion and debate. Will Walter Flynn remain in control over Vic and Claudia and continue to make moves from beyond his grave? Besides Walter having moves up his sleeve, we also at some point do need to see a funeral, which could mean the introduction to more Flynn family. For example, it was mentioned in Season 1 he had a brother, and maybe even bosses from Dublin. Dublin will also have some major questions for Vic, who's about to take the hot seat. Albeit the hit was given the green light by the bosses in Ireland, Brendan Doyle was a man in the middle, and I don't suppose they'll be too happy Doyle was killed. So Vic's tenure as a leader of the Flynn organization may start off as a bumpy one. Dublin may also want compensation and answers around the Cot Apocalypse and Doyle's death, and they'll certainly want Vic to run the empire the way they want. So this situation with Dublin will be very interesting to say the least, as Walter warned him early in Season 1, crossing the bosses in Ireland could result in fatal consequences. Now, where does this leave Claudia if Vic does take over the Flynn organization? One thing we can't do is underestimate Claudia and what she's capable of. She's smart and cunning, and with Vic making a move with the CBI for different reasons, Claudia will no doubt be making moves of her own. Now, will that clash with her brothers? Who knows? But she has shown her true colors. She's a devil in a red dress, and she'll do what needs to be done for her own benefit. But with that being said, that's a breakdown of the continuous theme we've seen across the Power universe, a theme where characters continue to make moves from beyond their grave. So do you see the same with Walter Flynn? Will he have some level of control over Vic and Claudia going forward? Drop all your thoughts down below in the comment section, and as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.